Tonight, shocking revelations from Parliament as government blows cover of a massive 68.7 billion cedis in fraudulent arrears claims, with several ministries, departments, and agencies under the previous government implicated, including Agenda 111, teacher training allowance, the 24 dry spell intervention, and more.
8.1 billion Ghana cedis was rejected for various reasons, including unsupported documentation, duplication, overstatement, already paid items, falsified stores receipt advice, and no work done.
We have details as the Finance Ministry conduct a full forensic audit of the Ofori flagship One District, One Factory initiative, raising alarm over a 10.5 million cedis payment into a buffer account that can't be traced.
Upon verification, the bank confirmed that it had never received such payment. The account number cited did not exist within the bank's records and did not even conform to its account numbering format.
We're live in Parliament for full details of the shocking revelations from the audited report of the previous debt claims, plus get the position of the minority on this particular matter here on Top Story, live on Joy 99.7, on Love 99.5 in Kumasi, on ATL 100.5 in Cape Coast, and on Radio Max 100.5, and several of our affiliates across the country. It's brought to you by Telecel, Connecting Energies, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil, and also by Showed Pension Trust into the future with you. Now, let's settle for details of the story. Tonight, shocking revelations from Parliament as government's audit has uncovered a massive 68.7 billion cedis in suspicious claims, with over 30 billion cedis rejected due to falsified records and fraudulent documents. The Finance Ministry is pointing fingers at several ministries, departments, and agencies for trying to rip Ghana off. The claims were submitted for payment at the end of the previous government's tenure in 2025. Listen to the Deputy Finance Minister, Dr. Ampem Dako, briefing Parliament on the report, of the special audit a while ago in Parliament.
A total of 68.7 billion Ghana cedis submitted to the Ministry of Finance in unpaid interim payment certificates, invoices, and bank transfer advices owed to contractors and suppliers. Out of this, outstanding IPCs and invoices amounted to 50.5 billion Ghana cedis, while outstanding bank transfer advices amounted to 18.3 billion Ghana cedis. Findings. Mr. Speaker, permit me to present some of the troubling findings of the audit. Out of the 68.7 billion Ghana cedis submitted for audit, a total of 45.4 billion Ghana cedis was deemed to be valid for payment. A total of 8.1 billion Ghana cedis was rejected for various reasons, including unsupported documentation, duplication, overstatement, already paid items, falsified stores receipt advice, and no work done. About 1 billion Ghana cedis of the outstanding BTAs, which refers to invoices and IPCs processed by MDAs in 2024, approved by Ministry of Finance, submitted to Controller and Accountant General's Department, and pending payment were rejected. Mr. Speaker, this 1 billion Ghana cedis that was rejected by the audit would have been paid if the Ministry of Finance had not made a bold decision to stop payment in January 2025. about 7.1 billion Ghana cedis of the outstanding IPCs and invoices, which refers to requests by MDAs for payments to suppliers and contractors, and certified for payment by various public officers across the approval hierarchies, have also been rejected. They were rejected for various reasons, including absence of supporting documents, duplications, recycled invoices and IPCs, overstatements, and no work done. Again, an amount of 13.3 billion Ghana cedis is yet to be validated for various reasons, including lack of third-party confirmation, inadequate documentation, and no supporting contracts.
Well, another matter of interest is what the Deputy Finance Minister describes as a fraudulent debt demand of over 89 billion Ghana cedis request by the Ministry of Trade under the previous government as payment of interest to some one district, one factory companies. He then says under this initiative again, a 10.5 million cedis was also paid into an account which cannot be traced. Listen to him.
The then Ministry of Trade and Industry in 2024 submitted a request of 89.4 million Ghana cedis to the Ministry of Finance to be transferred to 5 commercial banks as government's contribution to interest payments under the One District, One Factory initiative. The Ministry of Finance subsequently processed same to the Controller and Accountant General's Department for payment. But Mr. Speaker, this particular request was part of BTA's sitting at the Controller and Accountant General's Department awaiting cash for payment. When auditors contacted these 5 banks to confirm the liability, every single one of them denied being owed any amount by government under the said arrangement. According to the auditors, the said 89.4 million Ghana cedis debt was fictitious. Without the audit intervention, a whopping 89.4 million Ghana cedis of hard-earned public money could have been disbursed to settle this non-existent liability. Mr. Speaker, only God knows how much of taxpayers' money has been lost to similar fictitious claims. Right, Honorable Speaker, payment of 10.5 million Ghana cedis was recorded as having been made into an account named the buffer account at a commercial bank. Upon verification, the bank confirmed that it had never received such payment. The account number cited did not exist within the bank's records and did not even conform to its account numbering format. The evidence from the audit pointed to a completely fictitious account. Mr. Speaker, as a result of these fictitious accounts linked to the One District, One Factory payments, the entire 1D, 1F scheme requires a forensic audit which will be carried out soon. More so when government is said to have spent 391 million Ghana cedis as its contribution towards 1D, 1F interest subsidies as at the end of 2024.
Well, so that is the Deputy Finance Minister there. Let me take you to Parliament because my colleague there, James Aveji, has been monitoring the proceedings there and is joining us with a lot of details on this particular matter. James, let's start from the dry spell. There was also another shocking revelation, and this time about the popular dry spell we had during the time of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Tell us more about what the Deputy Finance Minister said.
Brett, so we recall that in 2024, during that dry spell, the then Minister of Agri led an initiative to procure some grains for farmers across the country. Under that initiative, government planned to, or actually paid for some 34,000 metric tons of rice to be bought and distributed to farmers. The report, according to the minister, indicates that only 24,000 metric tons was accounted for, as 10,000 metric tons have not been found. For maize distribution, the plan was to distribute 100,000 metric tons, only 11.9 thousand metric tons was distributed in that under that initiative. That's not all. There was also the contract for a certain transport company to distribute grains to farmers across the country under an initiative called the Farmer Food Relief Program. The Deputy Minister says 61.7 million Ghana cedis was paid for that contract to deliver 134,000 metric tons of grains to farmers, but also under that, only 35,000 metric tons of these grains was transported to the farmers under this very particular transport initiative.
Mr. Speaker, in 2024, the government of Ghana paid for 34,000 metric tons of rice to address the impact of the dry spell. However, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture received and distributed 24,000 metric tons of rice. To date, 10,000 metric tons of rice remains unaccounted for, even though the entire quantity has been fully paid for. The audit revealed that the government of Ghana also contracted a company to supply 100,000 metric tons of maize. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture submitted stores receipt advice as evidence of delivery of the 100,000 metric tons of maize worth 771.2 million Ghana cedis to the Ministry of Finance for payment. But only 11,900 metric tons was supplied and distributed. Mr. Speaker, it is worth noting that the store's receipt advice was supported by a checklist that was certified by the internal auditor of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Overpayment for transportation of grains. Mr. Speaker, under the Farmer Food Relief and Recovery Program, a transportation company was contracted to transport 134,000 metric tons of maize and rice to farmers across the country at a contract sum of 115.2 million Ghana cedis. Even though the company transported only 35,000 out of the 134,000 metric tons, which should have costed 30.9 million Ghana cedis, the company was paid in cash 50 million Ghana cedis. In addition to this payment, the company was given 7,311 metric tons of rice, equivalent to 14,622 bags of 50 kg rice, which amounts to 11.7 million Ghana cedis in lieu of cash for no work done. This brings total payment to 61.7 million cedis to the transportation company. As a result, the Auditor General accordingly rejected an amount of 65.2 million Ghana cedis that was requested by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture as additional payment to the said transport company.
James, you're still with me here. There were a lot of things that came up today. After the dry spell, there was also some 4.4 billion cedis cited as falsified store payment. Tell us more about that too.
Brett, so this was, according to the minister, claims for some unknown payments of some unknown goods and services. What the report indicated is that this payment was already done to some ministries which he listed, but the invoices were recycled and resubmitted for another payment of this particular amount. Aside from that, there was also some 9.4 million Ghana cedis which was paid for the delivery of some vehicles for the patrol of our borders. That was not carried out. The vehicles have not been delivered as we speak, according to the report.
Falsified stores receipt advices intended for misappropriation of public funds. Mr. Speaker, auditors uncovered transactions worth 9.4 million Ghana cedis supported by forged stores receipt advices, SRAs, that had been used to justify requests for payment for goods that were never delivered. Ministry of Defense, 4.8 million. A contract between the Ministry of Defense and a company for vehicles intended for border surveillance and monitoring of the 2024 general election revealed that despite the issuance of stores receipt advice, which is an official document confirming that goods have been received, dated 12 October 2024, the vehicles were never delivered. Similarly, the Judicial Service appeared to be caught in a web of falsified stores receipt advice. While an SRA dated 25th October 2024 claimed the receipt of 7 Toyota saloon cars, as soon as the audit was initiated, the supplier wrote to the Judicial Service on 10th April 2025, indicating their inability to supply the said vehicles as scheduled. This shows that fraudulent documents were submitted to the Ministry of Finance for payments, and steps have been taken to avoid the recurrence of this incident. Mr. Speaker, these cases illustrate a disturbing pattern of fraud designed to deprive the people of Ghana hundreds of millions of cedis of public funds. Recycling of already paid IPCs and invoices. Mr. Speaker, claims amounting to 4.4 billion Ghana cedis, which had already been paid between 2020 and 2024, were fraudulently resubmitted for payment. These recycled claims originated from the following MDAs. Ministry of Roads and Highways, 3.6 billion Ghana cedis. Ministry of Health, 384.8 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Energy, 216.7 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Food and Agriculture, 57 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Defense, 40.9 million Ghana cedis. Independent power producers, 36.4 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Finance, 26.4 million Ghana cedis. And Ministry of Interior, 3.1 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, but for our vigilance, the Ghanaian taxpayer would have lost a colossal 4.4 billion Ghana cedis in these recycled claims.
Well, so that's is the Deputy Minister of Finance. Let's go on to the phone lines now and bring in Nana J. Bafwewa. He's MP for Manchester South, a member of the minority there. I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining us. Yeah, I mean, from face value, this is colossal. How could things like that be happening? I mean, the fact that 34,000 metric tons of rice were paid for, only 24,000 was supplied, 100,000 metric tons of maize was given on contract, receipt submitted for payment, but only 11,000 was actually supplied and distributed. What really could account for this?
So, my brother, good evening. A report supposedly by the Auditor General was presented to the House. What the minister was reading, there was no evidence that it was coming from the report. It's a statement he made whilst presenting the report. The content of the report, we don't know.
But he says they got an auditing company to do this for the government, and that's why they came up with this.
What he is reading is not the report. That is why we took issues with it. It's not because we are trying to defend anything. We are not defending anything. It's when you look at Article 187 of the 1992 Constitution, it requires that an audit report of the Auditor General be presented to the House, and the report will be audited. It will be debated. And when it is debated, the House will put together a committee to investigate or to look into the report and make appropriate findings. And so the report which is supposed to be coming from the Auditor General was the one which was being tendered. The statement which the minister was making was not a reference, or he was not reading from the report.
But sorry to
we
cut
don't
you.
know the content of the report.
Sorry to cut you, but was this not from the private audit firm government got to do the work? And if it is, does that also fall under that particular provision?
My brother, what he was reading was not the audit report. It is a statement he's making, and he claims that it is coming from the report. It was not from the report. It was a written statement, a typed statement, statement that he has typed.
That doesn't make any difference. Doesn't make any difference.
It makes a lot of difference.
Okay,
it makes a lot
that?
of difference because as we speak, we don't know whether what he was saying is actually captured in the report. Indeed, there was no reference to pages or parts of the report that he was reading from. It was a typed statement alluding to supposedly losses that have been incurred. And so, indeed, we don't know whether what he was saying was from the report. Secondly, when you do an audit, everybody knows this. It's a matter of basic principle. When an audit is undertaken, there is a response that is elicited from the persons who are the subject of the report or the institution that is the subject of the report. And so when you look at the audit report, you also look at the responses of the parties, you see. And so in interrogating the report, you are not just going to have the benefit of the audit report, or of the opinion of the auditor. You're also going to have the benefit of the responses given by the persons who are the subject of the audit and indeed the institutions.
Now, I'm grateful. Okay. I'll come back to you. Let me bring in Felix Kwachofosu, who is Minister of State in charge of Government Communication. Felix, I'm grateful to you for joining us. Were the responses of these people involved solicited to get a response?
First of all, I'm surprised that you are treading that line. Why would you think that an audit will be commissioned and responses will not be sought from those against whom the claims have been made?
Great. So you
just allowed yourself to be misled by
and then you were here to get that education, so it's fine.
The claim that he makes that what the minister read or deputy minister read was not from the report is completely false. In the 2025 budget statement, the finance minister informed Parliament that as part of efforts to protect the public purse and to ensure compliance with the public financial management rules, he was going to commission an audit into claims he has received for the payment of arrears owed to contractors and other suppliers of government. And that when he is done, he will report to the House on the outcome. So this is a matter of record in Parliament, which the finance minister has stated.
Okay.
In the 2026 budget, he said the same thing. Now the audit has been completed. The audit was laid before the House. That must be placed on record. The minority leader has received a copy of the audit. When the deputy finance minister took the floor in Parliament today, what he did was to lay the report and then read out excerpts of the report.
Okay.
How does Bafwe Wise expect the deputy finance minister to read the hundreds of pages contained in the report?
Okay.
How is that even possible?
Felix, so what is next? Because the monies involved are huge.
Some actions have already commenced.
Okay.
In fact, in one instance, the Auditor General has surcharged companies who were paid $7.9 million as mobilization fee for Agenda 111, but did not set foot at the place where they were supposed to do the construction. The Auditor General has served them notices of surcharge. In addition to that, all those who
hold on, I'll give you time. Let
and approving these payments are the subject of investigations and will be taken through due process as everybody else. Hello?
I'm listening to you. I'm with you.
Yes, and will be taken through due process as everybody else. And indeed, it was in the deputy minister's statement that all the people involved will be held to account. 3, and even more importantly, measures are being put in place to ensure that this sort of fraud perpetrated against the people of Ghana does not recur. Okay. For instance, we have a situation where somebody says that they have paid an amount of 10.5 million Ghana cedis to a specific person who is owed, and that they paid it to a bank using a certain bank account. When auditors go to the bank, they find out that, first of all, that account does not exist in the bank and that no such payment has been made. Meanwhile, it has been recorded in our books as a country that we have paid such a money.
Yeah, so Felix, I mean, what Ghanaians are looking for is that this people have committed some alleged crimes. When are we seeing the government?
But it goes without saying, when people commit crime, they are dealt with.
Yes.
First of all.
But Felix, let me ask my question. And you can add it.
But
so
if you ask me a question, you will let me answer.
So a lot of people are asking, when will government take action to retrieve these monies?
Immediately. I have told you that already, even before this audit was presented to Parliament. Action has been taken against those who took money to construct a 111 hospitals and have not done so. As I speak, there's a formal surcharge against them. If they don't comply, they will face legal consequences. Those who processed and approved these payments will also be held to account immediately. But before you get there, you must investigate. You must find out what has gone on. You can't say that merely because 67 billion has been presented you to pay, you are taking people to court and jailing them when you don't know what's wrong has gone on. So you have to look into it. That's why the Auditor General, together with some private auditing firms, conducted an audit into the claims. We have found out that these crimes have been committed. And for that reason, people will be taken through processes to punish them for sin immediately. With some already having been the subject of some action.
Okay, let me bring in Nana J. Bafo. Nana, so I mean, you wanted to make a point here. Government says they've made these adverse findings, and immediately steps will be taken to retrieve them. What is the minority's point of view here?
Sammy, the NDC remains lost in propaganda, and so I'm not surprised because my brother Felix is still caught up in the propaganda mood.
Which is what?
Which is that he can't even differentiate between the statement that was presented in Parliament today and the audit report. What the minister read out in Parliament was not the report itself. The report was accompanied by a statement, and the statement is what he read out. The veracity of the report is yet to be interrogated. It is not for nothing that when an audit report is laid before the House, we don't move ahead to take action on it until same has been investigated by a committee consistent with Article 187 of the Constitution. And when the committee has done its work, it will make findings, it will make recommendations, and the recommendations will be implemented, right, by the House. And so when it comes to make these allegations, right, as though they are it is gospel, clearly he's doing propaganda. It's the same propaganda they've done from day one, right, which has now encumbered them. Look at Oral, for instance.
Won't it be right for you to challenge these in court to say that you've made allegations, you are not proving them, and therefore the court is where you go settle the issues? Not so.
What did you say, please?
I'm saying that if you disagree that these allegations or these acts were committed, isn't the right forum the court where you trash it out?
So you see, you have allowed Felix to succeed in misleading you. If it was the case that it could be prosecuted without an action by Parliament, the report will not be presented to Parliament. The report was presented to Parliament for further investigations consistent with Article 187. So Parliament is not going to set up a committee to investigate it, which is what the Speaker, the first Deputy Speaker directed, right? It is after the investigations by Parliament that some of the claims that are being made and be established. And so it is not just that the Auditor General has presented a report and so it becomes gospel. And that is what they are trying to do. They know very well that what they are saying, it is not well founded, right? And so it surprises me because, you see, they should have learned by now because Oral has beaten them hard.
So is it your argument? Is it your argument? Is it your argument that the surcharge that Felix talks to us about cannot happen until Parliament completes its investigation? Is that it? Is that it, Nana?
What did you say?
I'm asking that. I mean, Felix tells us that the Auditor General has even surcharged some companies. Per the education you've given, I'm asking.
That is not important. How can the Auditor General search out some of the companies involved, even before the report is investigated by Parliament in accordance with the constitutional injunction?
All right,
that tells you that what he's saying is not true.
I'm grateful.
He's misleading you.
I'm grateful. I have to leave you. Yeah, Felix, just 30 seconds.
No, you cannot give me 30 seconds.
My time is up, that's why. Let me hear you for 30 seconds.
Get the impression from that the Auditor General cannot search out people because the thing has not come to pass. The Auditor General has the right under the Constitution to search out people. This is a matter pronounced on by the Supreme Court of Ghana. So Nana Bafo should stop misleading people. Number two, why is he doing propaganda on behalf of people who have stolen from the state? What is his interest in this matter? That he is so stoutly defending people who have sought to rape the state. Number three, this lie that they peddle about oil. As I speak to you, today, the Ashanti Regional Chairman went to court. Yesterday, a former MP of the MPP, who was the head of the National Service Scheme, was in court. The previous week, another member of their party, who was in charge of the Ghana Infrastructure Fund, was in court. Gyasi, who is a member of their party, was in court over theft that allegedly occurred under the National Service Scheme. And what is oral about if it is not about prosecuting and punishing people who are alleged to have stolen from the country? So on what basis is he claiming that oral has failed when oral indeed is holding their feet to the fire of accountability? In any event, who expects the MPP to applaud oral? The people who raped this country engaged in fraudulent conduct that resulted in the loss of billions of cedis to the Republic, who are the subject of multiple investigations and prosecutions, are the ones turning around to tell you that oral has failed.
I'm grateful to Felix Kojo for we have to end it here. Time now for us to bring you Newsnight.
And on Newsnight tonight, tensions are running high within the governing NDC as grassroots supporters claim they're being sidelined by the party, with former National Vice Chairperson Anita Disoso threatening to lead a demonstration against the party if the concerns are not addressed.
If the party doesn't respond to our grievances, I am prepared to organize and lead the people to protest. Demonstration.
Also coming up tonight, minority warns of up to 1 million job losses if government goes ahead to implement new sliding scale mineral royalty rate.
Introduce this sliding scale. Yes, you may accrue some revenue, but the net effect will be some job losses that I'll be sharing with you in the report that I'll be giving to you. Close to about 1 million jobs.
We have details as they call on government to fulfill the promise to reduce the growth and stabilization levy to reduce burden on mining firms.
Government should honor their promise of reducing the growth and stabilization levy from 3 to 1% to balance the hardship on the companies.
Also tonight, Labour Minister Rashid Pelpo cautions Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, CLOCSAG, against taking an entrenched position as it goes into a meeting with the National Labour Commission on Wednesday over their conditions of service.
Don't go on strike and say because of that, because of your needs, you will continue to be on strike. No. Resume work. Let's respect each other, believe in us.
In business,
price of crude oil continues to decline on the international market, offering consumers locally some relief in the expected fuel review for March 16.
In sports,
Jordan Ayew backs current Ghana squad to impress at FIFA World Cup and advises against any sudden additions.
And later we'll take you to the Brumo community in the northern region, where lack of potable water is straining marriages and family life as residents trek 7 hours in search of water.
During dry season, residents struggle to get water, and the only water that is left in the dam in the dry season is not something that can be used for domestic purposes.
We have more on our latest Hotline documentary, Thirst in the North.
We've got the latest of these and many other stories coming up in the next 60 minutes. You can be a part of this show by sending us a WhatsApp on 055 11 11 997. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
My name is Ofori.
Details after this.
You know how much moms always say too much of everything is bad? But there's one too much mom actually approves of. Telecel's too much broadband bundle. This season? All you have to do is buy the 150 Ghana Cedis too much broadband bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and get 150% bonus data. That's right.
Simply buy the 150 Ghana Cedis Telecel too much bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and receive 150% bonus data. Dial *900#, use the Telecel Play app or visit the Telecel website to buy now.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining in my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me down my dog with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office,
Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Temania Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Centerpoint Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
During Ramadan, the fast is between you and Allah, but the moments around it are shared. From Sahur to Iftar, Cadbury Hot Chocolate makes sustenance as simple as adding hot water. Watch the velvety froth ride, releasing the aroma of Ghanaian cocoa, an exceptional taste, ready in an instant. Cadbury Hot Chocolate, share the warmth of togetherness. Ramadan Curry. This advert is FDA approved.
Ya Allah, send your light on me the dark.
In Tanzania, we say Karibu, welcome aboard. Looking for unbeatable fares to Tanzania and the world? Air Tanzania now offers direct flights from Accra. Fly with us to Dar es Salaam, Zanzibar, Kilimanjaro, China, Guangzhou, India, Mumbai, Dubai, South Africa, and beyond. Call us on 0246 567 898 and 0542 815 087 or visit our office at Kotoka International Airport, adjacent Airport Post Office. Air Tanzania, the wings of Kilimanjaro.
Hello again. Let's begin from Parliament, where the minority in the House has warned of job losses if government goes ahead to implement the new sliding scale mineral royalties, barely 24 hours after the bill matured into law. The new royalties law will allow government to adjust royalties on minerals in alignment with the prices of the minerals on the global market. The minority has, since the introduction of the bill in Parliament, held concerns about the implication of the new royalty scale on mining firms and revenue generation.
Addressing a news conference in Parliament today following the maturity of the bill into law, Chairman of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee, Patrick Yalbuama, first explains that the new rate will affect the instant decisions of major mining firms in the country.
The major powers, you know, the Chinese are investing heavily in mining here. and they see the net effect of this fiscal regime on their investment. The Chinese took over the Achim mines, Newmont Achim. It's all owned by the Chinese. They also have a mine in Achempim. They are doing big mining operations in the north, I think Upper East or so. So if the big major players or the big economies are talking about this regime, then government has to look at it carefully. Let me tell you, you protect your business interests, you protect your revenue, but you should always remind yourself and remember that Ghana is not an island. That is the problem with some of the rhetoric you hear. For example, people will talk about, oh, you have oil, you are not using the oil revenues to... Ghana produces not more than 120,000 barrels a day. E&I closed their wells for over 4 years. They didn't care because of fiscal arrangements. Some of these big players, their profits are bigger than our GDP. You should know, check the profits or the size of ExxonMobil and the size of some of the major mining companies. They churn out billions of dollars. Do you understand? We go to the capital market to raise 3 billion. So you should always strike a balance, not to have at the back of your mind that somebody is cheating you. Because you can create a concession or give a concession to a mining company, they'll do the exploration and think they are going to mine, let's say, 100,000 ounces a year. But it will turn out not to be like that. That will be loss of huge amounts of dollars. For you to drill an oil well properly, you need no less than between $80 to $200 million. It's a high-risk area, mining and the natural resources sector. So we should always strike the balance to attract people, give them some favorable terms, create jobs over the long term so that you'll be able to raise the adequate revenue that you're talking about, create the jobs that you are talking about, and you sustain the economy, rather than you being tight and they leaving to other parts of the world, because you know that resources are being discovered in a lot of countries. And if they are being offered favorable terms, they'll leave. And who loses?
Well, let's now bring in my colleague James Aveji because he covered that press conference. James, so we heard Patrick Yabuama speaking about the implications of this new rate. Did he go ahead to offer any proposals on this one?
Well, he said the folding up of some existing mining companies and the reluctance of other new companies coming to Ghana will lead to that 1 million job loss. On the back of that, he wants the government in a move to question the mining companies to implement the promise to reduce the growth and stability levy from 3% to 1% to relieve some burden of the mining firms.
Secondly, you promised the companies a reduction in the growth and stabilization levy. It means that you knew of the effect of this sliding scale and royalties regime on the revenues and the investment plan of these mining companies. So as we speak, there's nothing before Parliament. I've done my research. I've spoken to key government people. And you are all friends of the House. You are always here with us. If government had introduced anything to cushion the mining companies, you would have been the first group to have reported on it. There's nothing like that on the floor. And it's marks of some dishonesty on the part of government that you promised them to do this to cushion them, and as we speak today, you haven't done it. And these are global companies represented in various parts of the world. And their reports will go to their headquarters. They will not take us seriously because to the best of their knowledge, this is not a right framework to attract investment. So they will start looking elsewhere. That is my worry.
So government suspend this?
Government should honor their promise of reducing the growth and stabilization levy from 3 to 1% to balance the hardship on the companies.
So, James, we heard Patrick Balboama there talking about the growth and stabilization levy. Were there any reactions from the floor on the majority side?
So you want to take that again?
I was asking that we just heard Patrick Balboama talking about the growth and stabilization levy and asking if there was a reaction from the majority side in Parliament.
The majority is yet to respond to this particular position of the minority as they are concerned, but the position, the government position has always been that this is the right thing to do with regards to the swindling price of minerals on the international market. But we are yet to officially hear the position of the majority.
James Aveje, thank you so much for bringing us that update from Parliament.
Let's still stay on the telephone lines and bring in Ken Ashigbe. He's the CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Mines. Grateful for your time this evening. The minority is warning that up to 1 million jobs will be lost if this new sliding scale mineral royalty rate goes into effect, and it has indeed finally gone into effect. Your reaction to that?
Oh, thank you very much. Again, the point that the chairperson of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee of Parliament was making is the point that we made to that committee when they invited us, when the LI was presented before them. It is the same point that we made to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources when we met him. When we then tabled a proposal of 4 to 6% royalty and an additional 2% of the net profits to be paid into a fund that will be used for projects within the committees. When we met the Minister for Finance with the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources at the breakfast session, the paper that we had presented, we had altered our position to 4 to 8%. Plus an additional 1% taking of net revenue. And we had said all of this because as an industry, we were not against a sliding scale. We're not against government getting a lot more revenue because gold prices are up. The only point we are making is that you need to set it at a sweet spot, that you don't negatively impact investment. You don't negatively impact projects that have to come on. And then you would put your future revenues at risk. And so the point that the member of Parliament was making are points that we have made to government. To the extent that we share the paper with government, and we also have had an independent body, Ernst & Young, who had done a similar work in Cote d'Ivoire to do a comparison of Ghana's proposals against benchmarking it with other mining jurisdictions. And again, so the challenges that we see is the same challenge that the Minister of Finance, when he went to Parliament to go and talk about the gold reserve policy, he lamented about the challenges that have faced the oil and gas that have resulted in slowdown in investments. This particular policy, if it is left at this particular end, where we are not too sure whether the growth and stabilization is gone off. If it's not gone, then your royalty today will be at 16.46%. It will be about the highest you have globally. And if the Minister of Finance also takes the 2% off, they will still be leaving you with a royalty of about 13.45%. Again, it makes Ghana a very uncompetitive destination. So yes, you will not get mining firms walking away, but what they will do is that you have a mining firm, for example, that has 3 years left on its mining operation and needs to spend 170 million to be able to extend its life of mine. That 170 million, when he compares your jurisdictions to other jurisdictions, you will find out that if you took that money to, say, Guinea, or if you took it to Cote d'Ivoire, the returns will be better than you would have in Ghana. And it's not only about foreign investment, it's also about local investment. We currently have the situation where Azuma is definitely going to be raising some capital to be able to build the mine that they have up north. And this is an indigenous Ghanaian owner of a mine. Whoever is going to give him investment, whether it is the local banks or whether it is foreign banks, they will factor in this high cost of your royalties into it. It then makes us uncompetitive, and definitely it has implications for your project. If it has implications for your project, it will have implications for jobs. Again, when you do this project, the capex that would come in, that capex will be accompanied by import duties and all of that. So what we are saying to government, and we believe that there's still time to be able to have this conversation, let us find that sweet spot of the sliding scale that makes sure that the government and the people of Ghana get a lot more money, that makes sure that investments that should happen in these communities based on these projects that get to happen, that also makes sure that the various mining companies continues to invest today to guarantee our pipeline for gold revenues going forward.
Mr. Ashidwepel here. So we do know that the government promised that it was going to reduce the growth and stabilization levy, which you mentioned, and also Patrick Boama reiterated from 3% to 1%. Just want to ask, have you heard from government yet?
Well, I know that the last conversation I had with the Minister of Finance is the fact that definitely the reduction to 1% was going to happen, and it was the implementation of the new sliding scale would happen at the same time as this reduction is going to happen. In as much as we don't think that is enough, it is important that happens. And the Minister for Finance, he keeps his word. So we are believing that he will keep his word. And in our conversations with him, he says that the 1% will go, but not at this particular time. But we believe that he will sit around the table with him. The work that has been done by Ernst & Young, we shared it with himself and the Minister for Lands. We're hoping that it will sit around the table with him and his technocrats. We should be able to come to a sweet spot that is beneficial in the long term to Ghana.
Right. Kenneth, thank you very much. He's the CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Mines.
Now, tonight, the Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment, Rashid Pelpo, is cautioning the Civil and Local Government Staff Association against taking entrenched positions as they go into a meeting with the National Labour Commission on Wednesday over their conditions of service. The strike by CLOCSAG entered day 2 today, with the union protesting against persistent delays in the implementation of its agreed conditions of service. Some institutions have shut down as a result. Now, a meeting convened by the Labour Ministry with the leadership of CLOCSAG on Monday ended inconclusively.
Well, joining us visited several officers, including the WA Municipal Assembly and the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council, and found the offices completely shut down, leaving clients stranded. The WA Municipal organizer of CLOCSAG, Ambrose Weiwai, explained the rationale behind the strict enforcement to our correspondent, Rafiq Salam.
We expected them to be at home because it was announced that from 9th we are supposed to be at home, and then we are supposed to lay down our tools and then stay at home. And so we are the executives of one municipal, and then this exercise is in collaboration with the regional executives, and then we are going around ensuring that nobody who is a CLOCSAG member is at post working.
So what happens if I'm a CLOCSAG member and I decide that I won't go?
So we ensure that you go home. We are out and then we are ready.
But that will be against my rights because I want to work.
No. It is also against our collective rights that we are demanding something that government should pay attention to and then implement. And then at the end of the day, we are not seeing results that we are expecting.
We can now hear from some frustrated clients as well.
Last month, we paid by so I'm going to the new IUBA. I was a staff at the moment of Ubogusu. We register because one we register and you are on some account payslip. And a deadline on the 15th because they don't buy a Muslim system not to come. And I'm a big girl. I must say, I can't say I'm a strike.
That is a strike. And it be next week. And I'm a baby. And the crowd will move across from the boat. Says a woman to show. And said, my transit, I made him a home.
So those are some frustrated clients in the Upper West region. The first person said that was his first day at work, and the other person also says he's really frustrated as to the strike which they have embarked upon. We've also been hearing from the Labour Minister, Rashid Pelpo, who says the government is ready to make some commitments and urge the striking staff not to take entrenched positions as they continue negotiations.
So we are concerned, and we believe that the talks we are having now must go deeper than deeper enough to quell this situation. Because we had a meeting with them. I had a meeting with their leadership. I have directed the Fair Wages to hold a meeting with them. Let them define exactly what they need. Let us also see what we can do about it. I've had discussions with the finance minister. He's ready and willing to go along with us. But I must also explain that the demand they are making is for salary structure. And this is a huge enterprise that will deal with the totality of the budget. And so they wouldn't say that do it today or else we go on strike, and government is capable of doing so before they go on strike. Let us agree that we are going to make commitments, and those commitments will follow it up to the logical conclusion. But if they say, okay, we are on strike, and government is taking time to work out a system, doesn't mean they will continue to be on strike. We all are committed to moving this nation forward. And if you say because of what you particularly need, if you don't get it, you won't work. So what is your contribution towards creating the needed forward move that every individual is supposed to edge on within their own capacity to reach that particular end of ensuring that we achieve particular objective of advancing the cause of this nation? So I'll urge them, don't go on strike and say because of that, because of your needs, you will continue to be on strike. No. Resume work. Let's respect each other, believe in us, let's go out to talk, let's reach some commitments, and out of it, you can achieve your aim.
That's the Labour Minister, Rashid Pelpo, there. And that brings us to business. And George Wiafe is here with the latest. George, what have you got for us?
Okay, it looks like some good news on the international market because the price of crude oil is still declining, offering some relief to consumers locally. It is now within the $80 a barrel range from the more than $90. And Labadi Beach Hotel in La Palm generally makes more than 78 million Ghana cedis in profit for last year, as SNIT signals major turnaround of its investment in those areas. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials, Sinter's tanks and Pepsodent, Herbal and Charcoal.
Welcome, contestants, to the final round. Winner takes all. For 1,000 points, all you have to do is give me the correct answer to the following riddle. I am one place, but with the right connection, I can be 1,000 other places. Some people call me magic. Some people call me a feeling. In me, you can be anything you want to be. I'm the most common and yet the rarest place in the whole world. What am I?
A church.
Oh, wrong. Contestant 3, what's your answer?
The answer is home.
Correct. Congratulations to our winner. Contestant 3.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
When nations rise, it begins with bold conversations. When economies grow, it is driven by partnership.
This April, Ghana's business and policy leaders converge at the Kojo Business Forum 2026, the nation's premier platform for investment, enterprise, and economic transformation. With special guest of honor, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, joining captains of industry, financial institutions, investors, and entrepreneurs.
The Kojo Business Forum is more than just an event. It is a call to action. And so let us work together to build a Ghana that is competitive, productive, and inclusive, and a Ghana that creates opportunities for all.
Come, let's engage in high-level dialogue, explore industry exhibitions, build powerful networks, and unlock real opportunities from finance and insurance to manufacturing, agribusiness, SMEs, and innovation. This is where it all happens. From the 3rd to the 5th of April 2026 at the Kojo Convention Center, ETBA, go to www.kojobusinessforum.com and register now. To register for exhibitions, call 059 555 5885 or 059 555 5995. Kojo Business Forum. Connect, promote, grow.
Cast your mind back to 2022. The prices were rising. The stress was high. Every liter of fuel felt like a sacrifice. Do you remember who stepped forward first? When others were comfortable with high prices, Star Oil chose you. We cut our own profits so you could keep your AC on, keep your engines running, and keep your life moving without the heavy burden. We gave you room to breathe when things felt tight. Because of you, our star savers, we became #1. Today, the pumps are a battleground. Others are finally cutting prices because they have to. But Star Oil, we do it because we want to. Don't just chase a price, remember a friendship. We were there for you then, and with new innovations coming your way, we are here for you now. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
If you want quality, this be where you belong. Hey, it's a fair strong. Oh, gonna shout and sing the song. When the sun they hot, syntax no break when the rain they fall. Still no shake. Builders they choose and plumbers they prove. Any project you they start.
The Ghana Exim Bank is 10 years old. Hooray! And to commemorate this milestone, the Ghana Exim Bank is hosting a 2-day international conference on the theme, A Decade of Enabling Export Trade and Industrial Transformation, Resetting Gexim for the Next Frontier. The event takes place on the 25th to 26th of March at the Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City, 8 a.m. each day. President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will perform the official opening of the conference. Special guest and speaker, Honorable Elizabeth Ofosue-Jari, Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. Conference host is Honorable Sylvester Adina Mensah, Chief Executive of the Ghana Exim Bank. For inquiries, call 0208-541-480 or visit eximbankghana.com/conference to register. Media partners, Daily Graphic, Media General, The Multimedia Group, City FM, Radio Gold and Channel 1 TV. And knowledge partners include IFC and SME Finance Forum.
It's iftar time. After a solemn day of fast, it's time to come together, share warm connection and secret moment with Cadbury Hot Chocolate. This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnet. The price of crude oil is still dropping on the international market. It has moved from the more than $90 a barrel, and it's now trading this evening at around $82 a barrel. Now, this should come as big relief for consumers locally, as oil marketing companies will be working with the closing price for tomorrow to set the price for March 16. The development could also mean that consumers could be excused from paying the about 17 Ghana cedis per litre for petrol or the price of diesel. Now, the decline is linked to an announcement by U.S. President Donald Trump that the war in Iraq could be ending soon. That is, Iran will be ending very soon in the coming days. Meanwhile, the Chamber of Bulk or Distributors say the pricing for next week will be definitely influenced by international market dynamics. Dr. Kojo Ofori, a chief executive of the Bulk or Distributors Chamber.
We shouldn't expect anything different from how our petroleum prices have been priced in the past, as we all will witness in the course of the window when prices go down. Those who have managed to benefit from it pass it on to the market like we've always demonstrated. And if nothing changes, we should expect that prices are definitely going to go a bit up, especially with diesel, judging from the demand for diesel across Europe, that now most of the vessels coming to the WAF region have even been diverted to other parts of the world. So clearly, without LNG and most of these heating and plants are moving towards diesel, we should expect that that is how the market is going to be.
Chief Executive of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, Dr. Kojo Ofori. Now, Labadi Beach Hotel and La Palm jointly made a profit of more than 78 million Ghana cedis for last year. Labadi made about 77 million Ghana cedis, whilst La Palm returned a profit ways, as they return into profit ways, with 1.7 million Ghana cedis. Director of Senate Kwesibani, who disclosed this at the program in Wat Rafik Salam, says that this indicates that some significant turnaround of its investment, especially in the hospitality space.
At the end of 2024, the total asset value under investment was 20.4 billion. By end of 2025, we had grown the scheme from 20.4 billion to in excess of 25 billion at end of 2025. That is a scheme that is growing. We mentioned Labadi Beach Hotel, for instance, that in 2025 made profits of 77 million. We mentioned that for the first time in many years, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, that had been making losses, made an audited profit of 1.7 million. So efforts are underway to ensure that we ensure accountability and turn around our non-performing assets. But a lot more of our investments are doing well, and that accounts for the growth from 20.4 billion to over 25 billion as at end of 2025.
Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, Kwesi Baini. And the Food and Beverage Association of Ghana says it strongly backs the ban on some selected transit goods into Ghana by land. Finance Minister Dr. Atufosin yesterday announced an extension of the ban of goods such as rice, sugar, flour, textiles, spaghetti, and tomato paste. According to the association, the move would help save more Ghanaian businesses and improve revenue for the state. John Awuni is chairman of the association.
In fact, FABAC believes that this policy decision demonstrates the government commitment to strengthening trade regulations, safeguarding government revenue, and protecting legitimate businesses operating within the country. For a long time, Ghana has lost substantial revenue due to the widespread abuse of the transit regime. Unscrupulous traders have over the years taken advantage of the system by declaring goods as transit cargo destined for neighboring countries, only for such goods to be illegally diverted into the Ghanaian market through the land borders without the payment of the appropriate duties and taxes. This practice has not only deprived the state of significant revenue, but has also created an uneven playing field for legitimate manufacturers, importers, distributors who comply with Ghana's tax and regulatory requirements.
John Awuni is chairman of the Food and Beverage Association of Ghana. Now, Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, Emilia Arthur, says that she will work closely with the Transport Ministry to revamp the Jamestown Fishing Harbour project. She made the disclosure whilst on a state visit to the harbour with the Minister of Transport, Joseph Bukari. There is more in this report.
The facility, which was built in 2023 and commissioned in September 2024, is yet to operate at full capacity due to high maintenance costs. Silt from the Odor River flowing into the harbor's basin, structural defects and other challenges. Left underutilized, some facilities at the harbor are beginning to deteriorate. A visit to the site reveals rusted roofs and structures with many assets sitting idle at the mercy of the corrosive sea breeze. Addressing the media after a joint tour by the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Fisheries, Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, Emilia Arthur, was optimistic that the collaboration with the Transport Ministry will boost local fishing activities.
The two sectors definitely have to work together. Our interest is how to maximize the facilities here for the benefit of artisanal fishers in this country.
Built with a $60 million Chinese grant to modernize Accra's artisanal fishing sector, a fully operational Jamestown harbour boasts of a cold storage facility of 1,000 metric tons and ice production of 60 tons per day to preserve the catch of local fishers. The facility also has 248 stalls and dedicated fish processing zones aimed at boosting the local fishing economy.
Isaac Atasenyako with that report. Now, Stanbic Bank is strengthening efforts to expand financial inclusion through a new partnership with the International Finance Corporation and MasterCard. Chief Executive of Stanbic Bank Ghana, Kwame Sumeni, says that the collaboration will improve access to finance for small, medium-sized enterprises in the country. Speaking at the signing of a memorandum of understanding, he noted that there will be special attention given to women-owned businesses.
Many of you would have heard that the government is considering setting up a women's bank. My goal is that we're so successful that the government tells us that, you know what, rather than us set a bank, why don't we just give it to Stanbic? We will not be the first institution that is coming up with a women's banking solution, but I dare say that we will be the most successful at it. Not because it's just Stanbic alone, but because we've picked the two best partners we could have thought of in helping us drive this. The case for financial inclusion has been made very, very strongly, and it's a special case for us because our business and commercial banking segment is looking for newer ways in which we can intermediate. What better area to look than women-owned businesses? Our goal is to promote a very sound, safe, and secure financial system, and with SMEs at the center of this.
Kwame Sumeni is Managing Director of Stanbic Bank Ghana. Let's turn our attention to the stock market. If you had invested on the market from January to now, you've made more than 70% return on your investment on the Ghana Stock Exchange. There were 5 stocks that saw price changes at the end of trading on the Ghana Stock Exchange today. Now, MTN was one of the top movers that went up by 39 pesos, and its share is now worth 6 Ghana cedis, 33 pesos. And that's all for business on Newsnight. It's time for sports, right?
Yeah, and Black Stars captain Jordan Ayew, he has backed the current squad to rise to the challenge at the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup. Ghana have been drawn in Group L of the tournament alongside England, Panama and Croatia, following a strong finish to the qualifiers, which saw 5 wins and a draw in their final 6 matches. Ayew believes the current core of players he expects them to succeed at the FIFA World Cup.
I think the players that have played the qualifiers have done extremely well. I don't think we need any additions. I think that we have a good team. I think that as time goes on, we're improving. We're improving, We don't have much time to train together. We always have 1 or 2 days, then we play a game. So it's not always easy, but as time goes on, we're improving, we're getting to gel, we're getting to know each other, the unity is getting better, everything is being positive, everything is growing. So
You had Black Stars captain Jordan Ayew speaking there. The UEFA Champions League round of 16 continues later tonight. Our featured game is between Newcastle United and Barcelona. There will be live commentary from 8 p.m. on Hits 103.9 FM.
Well, thank you very much, Daniel, for bringing us the latest in sports. In other news tonight, climate variability has emerged as the single most destabilizing factor in Ghana's agriculture sector. When yields are impeded by the weather, the youth shy away from venturing into agriculture. Experts are saying that reversing agriculture's decline and the climate stress requires bold national action. On Climate Evidence today, Kofi Adudumfe looks at reviving farming glory under climate distress.
Ghana's farming population is aging.
Unfortunately, if you check our agri population, you realize that over 80% of our farmers are people who are age 65 and above, and that's dangerous.
Executive Director of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, Bismarck Ousunote, says attracting young people into agriculture remains a major hurdle. Climate risk looms large.
The question you ask yourself is, why are we not having young people actively participating? Aside from the financing, the infrastructure which is not there, the risks of climate change and the fact that the youth are not able to appreciate and use the available technologies to at least integrate farming into their system is a big thing that we need to address.
In Techimantia, in the Tano South municipality of the Ahafo region, farmer Nana Urusu Debright describes the harsh reality on the ground.
One of the major problems is about the rainfall. Right now, we are waiting for water. If it's rain today, tomorrow, none of the community people will stay at home. They will go to farm to sow.
For agronomist Dr. Michael Odenki Kwe, climate change presents both a challenge and an untapped opportunity.
As a climate intervention, I'm just citing voucher production, which can be an entrepreneurial opportunity for young people. The challenges are real, low yields, losses on the field, and so on. But again, there is also opportunity.
Agricultural economist Dr. Jonas Osei Edu believes youth inclusion is possible, but only if climate-smart agriculture policies move beyond rhetoric.
It's about risk. If the youth goes for a loan of 10,000 and has to depend on rain, why do you think he or she will be motivated? So we need to move away from rain-fed agriculture into irrigation.
As climate stress intensifies, the future of Ghana's agriculture hinges not only on rainfall patterns, but on policy clarity, innovation, and the courage to reposition farming as a resilient and profitable enterprise for the next generation. Kofi Edudomfe.
Now let's bring you excerpts of our hotline documentary Thirst in the North. And the Ghana Water Company says aging infrastructure, unpredictable weather patterns and rapid population growth are crippling water supply in the northern region, with the Dallon Water Treatment Plant, built to produce 45 million gallons a day, now operating about 35 million gallons, nearly 22% below its capacity. This is far short of Tamale's estimated daily demand of 90 million gallons. Director of Public Affairs at the Ghana Water Limited, Stanley Mate, tells Joy News the ongoing Tamale Water project is expected to ease pressure. Is expected to ease the pressure. Well, the disclosure comes on the back of Joy News' hotline documentary, which revealed the human cost of the crisis. My colleague Nana Boachi Adam reports that residents of Brumo trek up to 7 hours daily in search of muddy, unsafe water. An ordeal the community's chief, Al-Hassan Musa, says is straining marriages and family life. Here are excerpts.
Even
though Ghana has committed to the UN Sustainable Development Goal on clean water for all, nearly 4 out of every 10 rural households still rely on unsafe water, ponds, rivers, or open dams, often shared with animals.
They spend all their time at the dam or looking for water. So it means that any other activity they are supposed to be taking that is income related is suspended because you have to get the water. And the last one, he says that their children are unable to go to school most of the time because they spend time looking for water to keep them clean before they go.
This dam, built over 2 decades ago, is the only source of water for Grumo and nearby villages. It is the only dam that saw them through the harsh drought of 2005. But it has not been dredged or expanded since it was built, and now it is failing them.
During dry season, residents struggle to get water, and the only water that is left in the dam in the dry season is not something that can be used for domestic purposes.
At the chief's palace, Al-Hassan Musa sits with a heavy heart. His voice carries the pains of his community members. He speaks not only for water shortages, but of private struggles.
Even when it comes to sex, because when you have sex, there's no water to bath, and this is affecting their relationships.
Across northern Ghana, nearly 1 in 5 households spends more than 30 minutes just to fetch water. In the most remote areas, that journey can stretch to several hours, costing children their time, strength, and sometimes their education.
Appel, do you recall the last time you tasted gakenke?
Of course I do. Once every week I take gakenke.
That's good, because ever wondered what goes into its preparation? Well, as Ghana celebrates its heritage this month, we journey into the heart of Teshi to see how your favorite komi is prepared and served with hot pepper, a tradition that has endured for centuries. My colleague Namoko takes us to Teshi Adomin, where the story of kenke is still being written one ball at a time.
From the street of Osu to the shores of Ada, kenke, locally known as komi, Otimi or Dokno, has been preserved for centuries. Developed by the Gadangme people, the delicacy goes beyond its roots. Today, it is enjoyed in Ghana, cutting across tribes and regions. But what really goes into its preparation? In Teshi Adoemi, Yomo Amoko walks us through the preparation process.
To prepare kenke, you must first soak the maize for about 3 days. This allows it to ferment properly before it's milled into corn dough.
The main ingredient is maize. It is soaked for days, milled and left to ferment to achieve a certain distinctive sour taste.
Once the milling is done, the dough is sieved to remove any unwanted particles. This process ensures a smooth texture before it's partially cooked.
Yomo tells me the fermented corn dough is partially cooked over heat, stirred vigorously for hours until it thickens into a smooth porridge. It is then mixed with fresh dough and mixed manually to achieve the right consistency before being molded into balls.
At this stage, you stir it steadily with a good quantity of salt, just like preparing banku. However, this particular mixture is known as a flatter.
Each ball is then wrapped tightly in soaked corn husks and tacked to seal. For nearly 4 hours, it boils slowly.
When the flatter is well cooked, it is mixed thoroughly by hand to achieve that smooth, firm and slightly starchy texture.
Once fully cooked, the kenke is removed, salted and repackaged to retain warmth. But there's one more thing missing here: pepper, shito and fried fish.
Kenke is best enjoyed with pepper and fish. The taste is so satisfying, and of course, you will need about 2 sachets of water to cool your heart.
As I prepare to taste my Ghana kenke with its hot pepper and fried fish, Nijani joins me at the table with his testimony.
The reason I love kenke so much is deeply personal. Kenke became more than just food. That is why even today I make it a point to eat kenke before sleeping.
Indeed, kenke is not just a delicacy for the Gadangme people. Every morsel reminds us of the diversity of the Ghanaian culture, a history shaped by hands, kept by resilience, and wrapped in a corn hat. For Joy News, I am Na Moko, Teshi Adoemi.
And Kenneth, you'll be licking your fingers if you try kenke with shitolu.
Wow, I've tried it several times and I think it's nice.
Okay, let's bring you some other stories now. And tensions are escalating within the National Democratic Congress as grassroots supporters and key members claim loyal party members are being sidelined. The controversy sparked after a London event hosted by Nana Banama was initially linked to gold board jewelry, sparking allegations of favoritism. Although the company clarified it only offered discounts and did not sponsor the event, the backlash hasn't subsided. Former First National Vice Chairperson, Anita D'Souza of the party, has joined the chorus expressing frustration on social media. Other party loyalists are also airing their grievances online, questioning the party's commitment to recognizing and rewarding dedication. First, listen to Anita D'Souza.
At least yeah, you won't dagano, and I was a fire to baby, and to see any animal bar near to me who saw a simmercy, no one young more than what you may day, or to me, your human. A bus of a young colonna started, and the abano cry abre, and to view, abano cry abre, and to view. And you're nice, and so I may forward videos, my catch a young penny for no someone.
Those who have dedicated many years to the party should be recognized and be given appointments, as this will help strengthen relationships with the grassroots. Currently, many local party members are frustrated and feel overlooked. Some have even threatened not to support the party in the next election if nothing changes. The leadership must take urgent steps to address these concerns before it's too late.
Baby. Obapa nyina say me mako meeting ni hono 500 Ghana. Maka. Nansa wo say your meeting bi na ntumi anya ho anko.
Despite our consistent contributions, members at the grassroots levels, even me, make very little financially, leaving us feeling very undervalued and ignored. If the party doesn't respond to our grievances and take concrete actions to reward our loyalty, I am prepared to organize and lead the people to protest against the
government.
You have a former first National Vice Chairperson of the NDC, Anita Desoso. Let's stay with the story because the NDC's Deputy General Secretary, Mustapha Bande, in a Facebook post, acknowledged the grievances but alleges most accounts expressing discontent appear to be driven by pro-NPP sentiments. My colleague Caleb Ziblim joins us in the studio with excerpts of that Facebook post. So, Caleb, what exactly is Mustapha Bande saying in that post?
Yes, Pearl. So, in his post, he says, and I quote, "I have reviewed numerous commentaries and concerns that have been widely expressed, reflecting the sentiments of some members. Often, many of us tend to observe and remain silent, but it is essential to acknowledge that we are accountable for addressing the grievances of even a single member, let alone a group of dedicated brothers and sisters who have worked together to get us this far. As Deputy General Secretary, I would like to state the following." And he says, most accounts expressing discontent appear to be driven by pro-NPP sentiments, exploiting the frustration of some of our supporters.
Well, Caleb Zilim, thank you so much for bringing us that update.
Right, and that's it for Newsnight. But before we go, here are some of the messages you've been sending to our WhatsApp platform. Nanekuya Muabuatin from Ablekuma Central says, "I will urge the government to heed the demands of Clocksack since the issues they are raising are not new. Public sector workers also deserve better compensation, not just our wicked politicians." And this one also says, in one breath, Patrick Buama says any shut its wells for 4 years and they were not affected, but is now apprehensive about them shutting or moving to other jurisdictions with the coming into force of the sliding scale gold royalty regime. He wasn't concerned about possible loss of jobs then, but is crying more than the bereaved now. And this one is from Matilda Ama Inketa, and she says, regarding the conduct of the minority in parliament under the current government, I think they are really enjoying the reset agenda by President John Mahama, but just pretending because they are in opposition. Joe from Apollonia City says, how worried was Patrick Buama when different companies relocated from Ghana under their regime due to the mess they created? When will this country begin to benefit from the resources of the land? Francis from Accra says to the MPP, what is their beef with any acts of malfeasance found against any person or company by the Attorney General? Are those persons and companies MPP members or owned by them? Nana from Spintex says the MPP must give us a break. We have friends amongst them who made unexplained wealth in the 8 years of their reign. Someone who lived in a council property in the UK bought a house in Ghana and completed a property in a good area in Ghana as well. And this final one is from Starlin in Zuarungu, which says it has come to our attention that a forensic audit has been carried out uncovering numerous findings. The primary interest of Ghanaians now lies in the prosecution of the individuals who have violated the law. Pearl, you have some?
And then, Kenneth, before we go, Pepsodent has a message for our listeners. It says, do the 2 before you go to bed tonight. Remember to brush your teeth with Pepsodent. That's also a reminder To you, Kenneth.
Yes. And that's it for Newsnight. I'm Kenneth, Gyasi.
And I am Pearl Ofori.
Right next, though, is Geek Squad, and Adobia is here. Adobia, what are you discussing on the program this evening?
It's Ghana Month, so we want to discuss how we can use digital storytelling to preserve our culture and heritage.
It should be an interesting